executing in browser and server-side script is executing in web server. Is it clear? The client-side script, if you take here, that client-side script is executing in browser, and server-side script is executing where in web server. Like that, in web applications development point of view, some code we need to execute in browser and some code we are executing in server. So what type of operations we can do with browser coding? So these things we are discussing. Now here, if we take client-side script, we can use client-side script. Yes. We can use client-side script in which point of view? Okay. Yes. First one, to apply on HTML controls. What is to apply dynamic functionalities on HTML controls? Like yes, yeah. Client-side script we are using in which point of view? Yes, first one, to apply dynamic functionalities on HTML controls. What is the concept of dynamic functionalities? Yes, it is nothing but changing the properties of HTML controls at runtime. This concept we are calling as dynamic functionalities. Is it clear? Yes. Changing the properties of HTML controls at runtime. So this concept only we are calling as dynamic functionalities. For example, if you take any HTML control like image, text box, button, or any other controls, these controls are static controls. What is the meaning of static? The properties of the controls will not change at runtime. At the time of designing the HTML page, what are the properties we are providing to the control? Those properties will fix in runtime. At runtime, you want to change the properties. It is not possible by default. But by using client-side scripts, it is possible. Okay, one example I want to show you. So now here, just yesterday we stopped with this example actually here. Yes. Now here, so demo.html I have given. So there within the body tag. Yes, within the body tag. Just I want to take one image. img source is equal to. I'm taking the image control here. img source is equal to. I want to provide source of this image just like mango.jpg like that. This source I want to provide. Yes, yeah. Is equal to mango.jpg I'm using. And width is equal to 100 pixels. Now this is demo dot HTML here. So where it is created on the desktop here. Yes. Now if you observe, this control is static control. This control is static control. These control properties cannot be changed at runtime. What the source of this control I have given? Mango.jpg. That is the source of control. Yes. Now my requirement is at runtime, I want to change the source of this image control. Is it clear? That is my requirement. So in this point of view, when I click on this image, I want to change the source of that image. That is my requirement. So in this point of view, we are using on click is equal to something. This script don't try to understand. So see the result of this script here. In my desktop, I have one more image, that is apple.jpg. That image I want to display when I click on this control. Now refresh now and click here. It is changed as apple.jpg. Like that, I have taken this image tag and the source is equal to mango.jpg, width is equal to 100 pixels. And when I click on this image, JavaScript source is equal to apple.jpg. By default, mango.jpg is the image source, and when I click on this, that source I'm changing as apple.jpg. Means this is the runtime. Now in this runtime, when I click on this image, it is changing the source. Like that, we are able to change the properties of the controls at runtime. Yes, this is possible by using JavaScript. Is it clear? Yeah. So like that, any property of controls we can change at runtime using JavaScript. Is it clear? Yeah. Not only JavaScript, if you take client-side scripts, this client-side scripts main functionality is to change the properties of controls at runtime. That's the first point. Yes, this is all. Next, to validate input controls. Yes, input controls. In input controls validation point of view, we are using this JavaScript. Yes, like text box is empty or not. Password, retype password is valid or invalid. These type of validations you want to perform. Then also we are taking the support of JavaScript. Next, to execute some logics in browser. Okay. In browser point of view, we want to execute some logics. Then also we are taking the support of JavaScript. For example, I told you maybe yesterday I didn't discuss this. Okay. One calculator program you want to implement in your website. That calculator program we can develop by using client-side script or server-side script. Any script we can use here. So what are the server-side scripts we have? ASP, JSP, PHP, like that. And client-side scripts are JavaScript, AngularJS, React.js, etc. So server-side scripts are executing in web server and client-side scripts are executing in browser, right? Yeah. So in case if you develop that calculator program using client-side script, where in which location that script is executing? In browser location. Yes, in which location that script is executing here? In browser location. Yes, now the same code if you develop by using any server-side scripts, yes, then it is executing in web server. It is executing where? In web server. Is it clear? So that's why when user click on the plus, minus and these operations here, if it is client-side script, it is executing in browser. So that's why its performance is very fast. If it is server-side script, it is executing in web server. So that web server means every time the request is going to the server, response is coming back. Means if user press the plus button or minus button, any operations, what is happening? The request first it is going to the server and the response is coming. For this entire request and response process, it is taking some time. It is taking some time. Yes. So that's why the output of client-side script is very faster than the output of server-side scripts. Is it clear? Yes. Next one here, to work with Ajax concepts. Yes, to work with Ajax concepts. Like that, these are the main points which we are using to work with these client-side scripts. So Ajax means sending a request from browser to server without submitting the web page. So this is very important for us. Every day we are using this Ajax concept. We are working with the Ajax concepts. So like that, in this point of view, also we are taking the support of these client-side scripts. Like that here. So remember this point in web applications, in coding point of view. Okay, so two types of scripts we are using. Okay, now I'm going to draw the diagram. 1 second. Yes. Now here, if you take any web application, means website. In this website is one phase, and this is another phase, and this is client-side script, and this is not client-side. First of all, we are using just design phase, and next one coding phase. In design phase, we are designing that user interfaces. Yes, in coding phase, we are implementing logics. Those are nothing but logics. Yes. User interface means what is that? Nothing but the web page which we are displaying the end user. Okay. Yes. To implement these user interfaces, we are using some technologies. What are the technologies? HTML, CSS. Like these technologies we are using here. To work with the user interfaces, we are using this HTML and CSS. These technologies we are using. So like that, if you want to design any login form or registration form, we are taking the support of HTML, controls, text boxes, buttons, etc. Images you want to place these controls, and we are applying some styles on these controls like color, background color, etc. In logics point of view, two types of logics we have. Okay, one is I can see client-side logics. Another one is server-side logics. Yes, like that we have these two types of logics. What is first one? Client-side. Next one, server-side logics. So these client-side logics are executing in browser. When user is opening our website, that original code is downloading into the user system, and in his system in browser that code is executing. And server-side logics are executing in our web server where the website is located. In that system only it is executing. For example, Facebook is there. Okay, if you type facebook.com, that home page is downloading into your system. You are the user of the Facebook, right? You are the user of the Facebook. Now here, what is happening? The Facebook home page contains both client-side script as well as server-side scripts. That client-side script initially downloading into your browser and it is executing in your browser. That's why you're calling it as client-side script. But server-side script is in server, web server only. It is there and it is executing in server machine. Like that, we have these two types of scriptings. One is client-side script, another one is server-side script. Is it clear? So client-side script is executing in browser and the server-side script is executing in web server. Is it clear? Yes, just I told you what type of operations we can do with this client-side script and server-side scripts. Just these points I discussed with you. Now, if you observe here, client-side scripts we are using, to apply dynamic functionalities on the HTML controls. I think you got clarity in this point of view, right? Yes. What is dynamic functionality? Changing the properties of HTML controls at runtime. Yes, changing the properties of HTML controls at runtime. Next one, to validate the input controls, means to check whether input controls contain the valid data or invalid data, like that. Next one, to execute some logics in browser. Okay, coding point of view. Okay, just like I told you many types of functional things we can do with this client-side script and Ajax like that. Now server-side script, if you take here, so in which point of we are using server-side scripts to connect with the database of application, website contains database. The database is located in server mission. Okay, to connect with this database, we are using server-side scripts. Because if I use client-side script to connect with the database, it will always try to connect with the user system database. In user computer, it is trying to connect with the database, but not server. But our website's data is located where in servers only. That's why in this point of we are using server-side scripts like PHP, ASP, JSP, etc. Yes, and next one here we can also use to work with the sessions concept, server-side scripts. Like that here, these two types of scripts are very important. So you should choose whether you want to become as UI developer, means client-side scripts. You want to work with these client-side scripts or server-side programmer. Nowadays, much popularity is there for this UI developer. More demand is there. So that's why here, if you take Angular, Angular is a client-side script used to work with the front-end logics, browser logics. Okay, it comes under UI development. Okay, now here AngularJS is the framework of JavaScript. What the first client-side script? So JavaScript is the very popular first client-side script implemented in 1995. Okay, later based on this JavaScript, many other technologies are introduced like React and this AngularJS and jQuery, Vanilla.js, Knockout.js, like the different types of technologies are introduced here. So AngularJS is the framework of JavaScript. Now, first of all, what is framework? Okay, framework is providing one structure to implement our logics. Okay, so it is providing one structure and it is providing a predefined functionalities. So in this framework, we can write our logics by using the predefined functionalities. Is it clear? So means simplified functionalities it is providing for us, and one architecture structure is there. Inside the structure, we are writing the code. Okay, that is the concept of framework. So every technology contains the frameworks. For example, Java. For the Java frameworks we have, what are the frameworks we have for the Java? Something like Spring, Hibernate, like that. Okay, and PHP, Gen framework and Coordinator framework, like that. These are the frameworks of PHP. Like that, Python for Python, Design is the framework. Like that, every technology contains frameworks. Okay, these frameworks we are using to work easily with the technology. In the same way, what is the framework for JavaScript? JavaScript framework is nothing but AngularJS. Okay, so actually initially it is implemented by Cisco Every and Adam Ambrose. Yes, who implemented this one? Misco Havery and Adam Ambrose. So here, actually in 2010, they released version 1.0. Okay. Misco Havery is the main person behind this implementation, and Adam Ambrose, these two persons, Google employees, they implemented this one. After few months only, okay, Adam Ambrose left from this implementation, and Misco Havery continue with the next process here. Okay, so like that, AngularJS, if you take, it is the framework of JavaScript we are using to work with the client-side functionalities. Is it clear? This is about that AngularJS. Is it clear? Now, this AngularJS is maintaining by Google. Okay, which corporation is maintaining this one? Google corporation is maintaining this AngularJS. Is it clear? This is the basic history of this AngularJS. Okay. Now you got some little bit idea what is this AngularJS and in which point of view is this AngularJS. Okay. In this concept, you got some little bit idea thing, right? Yes. So any doubts you have, you can ask me now. Any queries, any doubts? Yes, tell me what is AngularJS, all of you. You can speak with your mics.
AngularJS is a framework of JavaScript.
So here, client-side scripts are executing in browser mission, browser or server mission?
Browser.
Browser. Okay, and server-side scripts are executing web server. Okay, so this is AngularJS front-end development technology. Okay, now we need to discuss what is Angular and what is AngularJS. Yes. Okay. So now here, on top of this, you can take and this is AngularJS and this is Angular. Many people they don't know. Means some people they don't know. There are two different technologies we have. One is AngularJS, another one is Angular. So many people they don't have awareness in this concept. So AngularJS is different. Angular is different. Yes. So one clear-cut point I'm giving you. Version 1.6 we are calling as AngularJS. Version 1 from version 2.x onwards. So now you can ask me, sir, is it the main difference between these two? Is not the differences are there between this AngularJS and Angular. Now, if you take here 1.x we are calling as AngularJS and from 2.x onwards we are calling as Angular. But first thing is, see, Bisco Havery and Adam Abrams, these two persons implemented the packages of 1.0 with the help of JavaScript. You understand this point? Yes. So 1.0, I mean 1.0, 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5 up to 1.6. They released these versions. So these versions packages they implemented by using JavaScript. When they are shifting into next version, that is 2.x, is it clear? When they are shifting into next version, that is 2.x, from 2.x onwards they used okay TypeScript. Which technology they used here? TypeScript to develop the packages. Yes, yeah. So what the technology they used? TypeScript. And 2.x, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. All these versions packages they developed by using TypeScript. Means functionalities. Okay. So functionalities they developed by using TypeScript. Now you got one more point, I think. Yes. So now you tell me, what is AngularJS? It is the framework of, okay, yes. AngularJS is the framework of, come on.
JavaScript.
JavaScript. What is Angular?
It is a framework of
TypeScript.
Got it. Yeah, it is the framework of TypeScript. So AngularJS is the framework of JavaScript. Angular is the framework of TypeScript. In AngularJS, the functionality is implemented based on JavaScript. In Angular, the functionality is implemented based on TypeScript. Is it clear? Yes. And the
Yes, sir.
next point is you can ask me, sir, why they used TypeScript from 2.x onwards. Okay, so means 1.x functionalities they implemented using JavaScript. Why they don't use JavaScript from 2.x onwards? What are the reasons behind that? That is very important interview point of view. They are asking these questions. I will explain you all these points. But here from 2 till now, these packages are implemented by using TypeScript. And from version 2 onwards, they removed JS, this word AngularJS, simply they are calling as Angular. So Angular is the framework of TypeScript. Is it clear? Yes. Now come to this Angular concept. In this Angular, okay, so first we need to discuss what are the differences between JavaScript and AngularJS, and after that, what are the differences between AngularJS and Angular, and the differences between JavaScript and TypeScript. These are very important concepts for us. Is it clear? And the next point is, in companies, which one they're using, AngularJS or Angular? So every company is working with Angular only. So out of 100, one or two companies, still old projects, okay, which they are working on old projects, those companies using AngularJS, but every new project they are using Angular, that too versions 7, 8, 9, these versions most of the companies using now. You understand? Yeah. And our course package is also depending upon this Angular only, not old version, which is not useful at it. That is AngularJS. We are working with Angular. We are discussing the concepts of Angular from version 2 to 10. We are discussing here. You understand this point? Yes. But before starting this Angular concepts, so you should know some idea about this AngularJS. Idea means not in programming point of view. Okay. So in programming point of view, there is no similarity between AngularJS and Angular. Is it clear? Yes. In programming point of view, there is no similarity between AngularJS and Angular. So what are the concepts we have in AngularJS? Those concepts, if you get idea, then you can easily compare what are the more additional concepts we have in Angular. You understand this point? Yes. So now we are discussing these points. Okay. Yes. Now here, if you take AngularJS and Angular, so the differences we should know. What are the differences? Because in company, definitely they're asking, so why we are using Angular? What are the negative, okay, points we have in this AngularJS compared with Angular? Okay, so those differences are very important. That's why I'm going to start discussion about this AngularJS. So that discussion I'm telling you based on the differences between JavaScript and AngularJS. Okay, so means what are the additional features we have in this AngularJS compared with JavaScript we are discussing now. After that, I will explain you what are the more features we have in this Angular by using AngularJS compared with, sorry. What are the more features we have in this Angular compared with AngularJS? These points I will explain. Once it is completed, then I will start programming with TypeScript. I will explain you TypeScript because the prerequisite is to learn this Angular is TypeScript. TypeScript, each and everything we should know. That's the first 1 week or 10 days I'm discussing the TypeScript concepts. Then only I'm starting this Angular. Here we are discussing up to version 10. Okay, we don't discuss anything about this old version AngularJS. Only we are discussing what are the features available in this AngularJS. Those features we'll discuss. That's all. No programming concepts in this old version AngularJS. Programming everything we will discuss with Angular only. Is it clear? Yes. Now you can ask me any questions you have in this point of view. I kept you in unmute mode. Yes. Now you can ask me. Any queries? These points are clear?
Yes,
Yes.
sir.
So here, till now, some people in their minds they are thinking AngularJS, that's all, like that only, or Angular. But you people don't know AngularJS is different and Angular is different. I'm not talking about everyone, some people. Okay. But remember this point. The version 1.x we're calling as AngularJS. From version 2.x onwards, 2, 3, 4, 5 up to 11, and shortly 12 is also releasing. These versions we are calling as Angular. In programming point of view, tell me, is there any similarity between AngularJS and Angular in programming point of view? Is there any similarity?
No, sir.
No.
Oh, Even 1% similarity is not there. AngularJS programming is different. Angular programming is different. Okay. So is it compulsory to have idea on AngularJS to learn Angular? No,
No,
because
no.
there are similarity programming points here in this AngularJS and Angular. But concepts point of view, what are the concepts we have in this AngularJS? So those concepts we have in Angular, and additionally few more concepts we have in this Angular. That's why concepts are same. Concepts are same, and programming style is different. Okay, in AngularJS, data binding is there. That is one concept. In Angular, same concept is available, data binding. But how to bind the data, this is different. Programming approach is different between AngularJS and Angular. And in AngularJS, single page application concept is there. In Angular, that concept is also there, but programming is different. Like that, what are the features we have in AngularJS? Everything we have in Angular, but in programming point of view, differences are there. Moreover, some additional features are there in this Angular. So that's where to get what are the more additional features we have in Angular. To get idea in this point of view, first we need to discuss the features of AngularJS. Is it clear?
Yes, yes.
Now we are discussing left. Now, what is the first feature we have? Yes. AngularJS supports single page application. Yes. So it is supporting single page application. Okay. So just keep Angular side now. First, we are discussing AngularJS comparing JavaScript. Okay. So later we will come to this Angular. Now, AngularJS and JavaScript, if you take, in JavaScript, single page application concept is not there. But in AngularJS, single page application concept is there. This is a very main feature which we have in this AngularJS and Angular. Is it clear? Because of this feature, these technologies got popular. Not only in AngularJS and Angular, even in React.js also it is available. Is it clear? Okay. So, but we are not concentrating on React.js now because we are learning Angular here. So that's why we are discussing the points based on this Angular only. So supports single page application. But when you take JavaScript is not supporting single page application concept. First of all, what is single page application? Okay, so that pictorial diagram I'm going to show you. Okay, now here this is one web server. Web server means nothing but a computer which holds web application. So in this server, you are deploying your application. In your application, many pages are there like home, services, about us, like that. Yes, yeah. Home is there. Next one, services. Next one, about us, like that. These are the pages. Yeah. Okay, fine. Now the thing is, user X is sending a request from browser to server. Then home page is loading here. So concentrate on this point concept now. I'm not explaining any programming points now. Just what is this concept I'm discussing. Same concept. We are spending 7 days to discuss the programs. For the single page application, we are spending around 7 days programs with programs. Okay. Now here in this home page, you are displaying the hyperlinks like services, about us. So generally what happens if you click on any hyperlink, one more request is going to the server, okay, and that response is coming here. Yes, this is for services, that response is coming like this. And if I click on about us, then request is going to the server, response is coming. Like that, here in this scenario, if you observe this scenario, what is happening here? Yes. Every time the request is going to the server and the response is coming back here. But when you take single page application, we can call it as routing concept also. Okay. So that concept we are calling as routing. What the benefit of this routing? All these pages, okay, what the pages we are using here? Initially, all these pages we are making as one object. Yes. When user sends the first request to the server, that object is loading into the client system. So means in this object, what are the pages we have? All these pages are initially loading into the client system like this. When user click on these services and about us, now what is happening here? No need to send the request to the server from now onwards. Okay, without sending the request to the server. Okay, those pages are loading into the browser machine. Is it clear? Directly those pages are loading from browser cache memory location. Means from second request onwards, we are not sending to the server. The request is not going to the server. Means from second navigation onwards, the request is not going to the server. Because initially what happened, all these templates are loading into the browser location. So from this browser location, those templates are calling. So it increases the performance of application. And second point is page browser reloading is not there. Generally what happens if you send the request to the server, browser is reloading. In this reloading point of view, it is deleting the old page contents and loading the new page contents. But here the concept is not there. Without reloading only, it deletes the old page contents and loading the new page like services or about us, these page contents. And here, how to control the accessibility based on the role. Okay, for example, manager is there, super administrator is there, like that based on the role, authentication also, everything we are providing with this routing concept. This is very, very, very excellent concept which we have in this location. Is it clear? Yes. So that is the first point which we have here. So supports single page application. We can also call it as a routing concept. This point is clear now? Yes. Programs we will discuss later. Just I am asking you. So single page application is what is that? At the time of first loading only, all the templates are loading in the browser. Second navigation means second page onwards, no need to go to the server. Okay, every time. So we are directly getting information from client system. Yes. Tell me, Manish. Manish, tell me your support or something.
As you said, that in the second request, it won't go to the
Raju.
server side.
Yeah.
So how the data will come from the server side without hitting the server?
Yeah. So here you want to connect with the database or dynamic functionalities. You want to get the updated information from database. How it is possible? That question you're asking, right?
Yes.
For that, we are taking the support of Ajax concept. Okay. Here the thing is, the template we are not loading, but in that template means in that web page, any location you want to navigate to the server, then we are taking the support of Ajax concept. You want to get the updated information from server, like that. In this point, we are taking the support of Ajax concept. Is it clear? How to work with that Ajax concept and how to work with the CRUD operations by fetching the data, everything I will discuss with you. Okay. Yeah. So what are the other doubts? Remaining persons, please keep in mute mode. If anybody is asking question, then unmute, or else please keep in mute mode because noise is coming. Yeah. Any more doubts in this point of view? Okay, fine. Next point, if you take here, supports MVC pattern. Yeah. So actually, different types of architectures or design patterns, anything you can call, different types of architectures and design patterns we are using to develop the applications. In old days, we used to work with 3-tier architecture, next one n-tier architecture, but the current trend is MVC. Okay, so this architecture we are using to design the applications. What the main advantage of architectures? Separates logics from design view. Architectures are separating the logics from design view. Means increases the reusability. In this point of we are using MVC architecture. So here AngularJS comes with this MVC architecture, but in JavaScript, you want to use JavaScript, it is not supporting this MVC architecture. Is it clear? But in AngularJS, we have this support. I will explain you what is model, how to write the logics in model, what is view, all these things we will discuss later. Anyhow, it supports MVC architecture. Is it clear? Yes. Next point. Supports data binding. Yeah, very important concept. What is that? Data binding concept is there. Before data, okay, let me cover this one. What is data binding? Simply, we can bind the data with HTML controls. For example, here, if you observe this one, okay, yeah, one new page I'm taking here. Yeah, one variable is there in JavaScript. Serial number is 100. This JavaScript variable, and this is one text box HTML control. Now you want to display this variable value on this text box. For that, you have to execute some code. Okay, you are executing some code here. In this code, read that variable and display on the text box control like this. Yes, yeah. Means we need to execute some logics in this pointer. Like that, the same variable you want to display in other controls, like here, heading tag is one more control. Okay, like paragraph is one more control. Like that, in other controls, you want to display the same variable. Is it clear? Then what we are doing here? Yes, the thing is, we have to execute the same code in other controls like this. Is it clear? But when you take this AngularJS, in this AngularJS, we have one concept, that is data binding concept. Yes, what the main purpose of this data binding? Yes, this data binding we are using to bind the data with the HTML controls. In which point of we are using directly without executing these type of logics, we can directly bind the data with HTML controls. For that, it is providing some properties. Okay, these properties if you use here, then that variable is directly bind with HTML controls. And what are the updates we are performing on this variable? Those updates also will affect on the HTML controls directly. This is the concept of data binding. Is it clear? Yes. So this is very, very important for us. Okay. So this is one more advantage which we have in this AngularJS compared with JavaScript. Is it clear? Yes. Now here, next point is, yeah, I have written these points here. Supports many directives. We can also call them as properties. So like NG, if, NG, show, etc. This is very advantage for us. AngularJS is supporting many directives we are calling as properties. Directly we can use these directives within the HTML controls to increase the features of HTML controls. By default, every HTML control contains some features. Yes, we want to increase, provide more features, then we are taking support of these directives. So one example I will show you for your more clarity. That example I am developing with both JavaScript as well as AngularJS. Okay, then you can easily compare how much difference is there between this JavaScript program and AngularJS program. Yes. Now here, yeah, already we created demo.html file. Yes. In this file, one image is there, right? Now I want to place one button control. Don't try to understand this code. See the output and difference. Okay. Input type is equal button, value is equal to hide. Yes. Now when I click on this button, I want to hide this control. So this concept is possible with only client side scripts, not server side scripts, because browser functionalities we are implementing. Now here what I am doing, just I want to take some events here. Okay. Yeah. And just for this image also, we are providing ID. Now here I am taking that script, open tag and closing tag. So here just I'm using function declaration. I think you people may have JavaScript ID on the JavaScript or may not have, but it is not required to you. Okay, to have ID on the JavaScript because we are working with the Angular, not AngularJS. Okay, so that's why here we should have idea on the TypeScript. Okay, now I have taken the statements here. Now see this result. Let me click it once. That image is hiding. For that I have written this JavaScript. Once again, refresh this. Image displays. Click on this button. Image is hiding. For that I have written this JavaScript code. Now same concept I want to implement with AngularJS. Yes? Yeah. Now we can easily get the difference. So AngularJS functionalities are available in a file. Okay, let me check that file is available or not in the system. Yes. I think that file is not available yet. Okay, it is available inside this class folder, I think. Let me open that class folder. Okay, just I will download that file because in another lab it is available. Okay, not in this lab. And moreover, I don't use this file because I'm not working with AngularJS, I work with Angular. Okay, so angular.min.js. It's download file. Yes, I'm downloading that file here. Okay. This file support we are taking here. Oh, so in my system, extract is also in this lab. Actually, this is Office lab I'm using. My lab got a problem, so extraction is also not possible. You cannot copy this. Okay, 1 second. We have yes, now here it is coming. And this is the file which I downloaded, right? Now open new edit plus. So now same concept I want to implement with AngularJS. So this is one HTML file I'm creating, pro.html I have given. So first we need to load this file, angular.min.js file. Now here I'm using script source is equal to angular.min.js. Like that we are calling this AngularJS file. Okay. But Angular packages we don't call like this. That is different approachment. I will tell you later. Now same like previous program. Input type is equal to button. Value is equal to hide one button. Control I have taken. And image also. Source is equal to this time I'm displaying apple.jpg. Like that. Now this is what this file here, pro.html. That's the file. Now I am going to open this file here. What that pro.html. Yes. What is our requirement when user click on this button? I want to hide this image. That is my requirement. So in this point of view, just ng app. These are all directives. Ng init, okay. Ng click. All these are directives here, okay. And ng show is equal to x. Save this and refresh. When I click on this one, it is hiding. Yes, yeah. So here ng show, like that, some directives I have given. I told you this point here, okay. It supports different types of directives. Where is that nodes have written? Yeah, somewhere that nodes is there. I think here it is. Supports many directives like ng show, ng if, etc. In this program, I have given ng show, ng click, ng init, like that. All these are directives we have given to apply the same functionalities which we have written in this JavaScript. Is it clear? If you take JavaScript program, yes, this is the JavaScript program, demo.html. We have written that file name, and here we have written the JavaScript code. Yes, in this concept, 10 lines we have taken. Same task, we close it here within the 6 lines. You understand? Means around 40% difference is there in this simple concept. If you take very huge concepts like you want to get the data or you want to apply Ajax functionalities, in this point of view, compare with this JavaScript and AngularJS, 70 to 80% difference in coding point of view. Means in JavaScript, you need to write 70% more coding compared with AngularJS. Now, if you compare AngularJS and Angular, so again the difference is there between these two, AngularJS and Angular. Angular coding is much simpler than AngularJS. Is it clear? So like that, so you are getting slowly some clarity in this point of view. So in JavaScript, if you take here, we have written number of lines coding, but same concept in AngularJS, I have written very less number of lines. Yes. So I have taken the support of this directives. Okay. So that is the main advantage of this AngularJS compared with JavaScript here. Okay. Yes. Now here you can see supports many type of directives. And next point is simple coding. Okay. And we have few more points we need to discuss as differences between JavaScript and AngularJS. So those points I will discuss in tomorrow's session. I think you got clarity about these 5 points which we have discussed, right? Yes. So here,
Yes.
don't think in programming point of view. I will explain programs for each concept. I told you now only for single page application, around 7 days we are spending, like that Mvc architecture, data binding, 2 days we are spending, directives. Every day we are discussing new directive. Okay. Like that, every point pin to pin we will discuss. Just here, what are the differences between JavaScript and AngularJS? Some points we have discussed. Few more points we have. Those points I will discuss in tomorrow's session. So this course duration is 60 days. Okay. So first I will start with the TypeScript programming. Once you clear with this TypeScript, then only we are starting with Angular programming. And we are discussing from version 2 to 10. Okay. And before that, I will give you some idea like this. What is the difference between JavaScript and AngularJS, and what are the differences we have between AngularJS and Angular, and differences between JavaScript and TypeScript also. Because from version 2.0 onwards, they use TypeScript now. What are the more benefits we have in TypeScript compared with JavaScript? These points we will discuss. Okay. Yes. So I will continue. Yeah, remaining features in next class. Okay, now you tell me what are the doubts you have in this point.
Sir, actually, I am working guy and working in Birlasoft, and the project which I am working, it is a Java developer. My role is, but I'm moving in full stack development. So I want to take the also task on Angular next after 2 months. So after this course, can we able to work on Angular with the team?
Yeah, definitely, because we are moving with project orientation only. Yes. So
Okay.
right now you're working with Vanilla JS, right?
No. I'm never
Ah,
working in. I did not work in UI. Never ever. I'm working in backend side, Java development.
you are Java developer, but
Yeah.
nowadays if you want to go for any job opportunity, definitely they will ask these front-end technologies along with this Java, right?
Yes, in my
Yeah.
project, we need to design UI even, and we have to write server side things even.
Right now you are creating API services in server side, right?
Yes.
Yeah. But how to call this API service from front end, you don't know.
Yes. Means another developer is there for
Yeah,
Angular
that is
side.
UA
So
developer. That is UA developer role. Now you are
yes,
learning the same concept.
yes,
Yes. Then you will become a full stack programmer. Right now you are server side programmer. Once you learn
yes,
this Angular, then you will become a full stack programmer.
yes,
If you learn Node.js, then you will become a mean stack programmer. Yes. Angular, Node, MongoDB. Then it is mean stack. MEAN. Mean. M means MongoDB. E means Express. Framework of Node.js. A means Angular. N means Node.js. Mean means that is one type of popular programming these days. So mean as well as MERN. Yeah. So M is MongoDB. E means Express. Here only it is changing. In front end, here Angular we are using in main stack React. And server everything Node. Okay. So these are very popular technologies now. Okay. So either you can, your next level should be either, yeah, you are working with Angular, then you will become a mean stack programmer easily. Compare it full stack programmer, mean stack programmer salaries are very, very good. Understand this point. Okay. But right now, first you should learn Angular. After that, if you learn this Node.js, then you will become a mean stack programmer. But you should also learn MongoDB. Is it clear? Yes.
yes.
You want to work with only UA developer, then no need to go with this all this mean stack. Simply you can learn Angular. That is enough to you. Yes.
Sir,
Sir, I have one question.
Yeah.
Uh, as you say, AngularJS is a framework of JavaScript. So
Yeah.
whatever the code we written in the AngularJS, it will convert into the JavaScript. Then which one is the faster?
I didn't get your question properly. Come again, please.
Yeah, sir. As you told, AngularJS is a framework of JavaScript. Means whatever the code we written in the AngularJS, which is converted into the JavaScript, then it is executed. Right.
See, AngularJS code is not converting into JavaScript because by default we are using JavaScript only to work with this AngularJS. Is it clear? It is providing more features
more features.
comparing JavaScript. But Angular code is converting into JavaScript finally. Is it clear? You should ask me question, sir, JavaScript code if I write and Angular code if I write. So which one is faster, JavaScript or Angular? Because Angular is finally converting into JavaScript. That question you should ask me, right?
Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
See, once at the time of deployment, so that converted code only we are deploying into the server. You understand this point? So every time it will not convert. Once the application development is completed, okay, then build process is there. That build process, we are converting that entire Angular application to JavaScript packages. Okay, that JavaScript package we are deploying into the server directly. Okay, means
Okay.
from that time onwards, browser is calling that JavaScript code. You got it? Yes.
Okay, means
So
while
that's why,
execution time
yeah,
it directly call the JavaScript.
yes.
Okay, okay.
That is the process of build. I will show you how to work with this everything. Okay. Yeah.
Sir,
Thank you, sir.
uh, hello,
Yeah. Tell me.
hello, hello.
Hello. Tell me. Hello.
Sir, good morning. Um, hello.
Hello. Yeah. I'm getting your voice, man.
Yeah, okay, sir. Sir, I am actually working in software company as a front end and back end. And backend technology is Java and front is Angular only. But I have done some projects on Angular, but I do not have much clarity on these concepts. So what should I do
Yeah. Yeah. So can you say one
in
point?
this sense,
Can you say one point?
sir?
Yeah. I will tell you one point now about you. Till now, you
Okay.
dependent on Google, I think, right?
Yeah,
Hmm?
means I have read concepts in Google. That's only.
Yeah. Yeah. I got that one. So that's why you are
Okay.
working, but 100% clarity is not there for you. Yes.
Yeah, sir. Yes, sir.
That clarity, I am here to provide that clarity only. Okay.
Yes, sir.
Because in company
Me,
based on demand, we must work with that task, because otherwise they will pressure on
yes,
us. Yes. So that time,
yes,
what
sir.
is
Yes, sir.
alternative? Immediately we don't know, we don't have knowledge on that technology. Obviously, we are going to the Google and we are finding some code snippets and we are editing in our project. That is common. Not only you, everyone is doing that one only. Yes. So
Yes,
now
sir.
this is
Yes,
the
sir.
right time to complete knowledge this point of. No worries in that point of. I will give you complete idea on this. Yeah.
Sir, hello.
Tell me, please.
Yeah, sir. As I heard, a lot of people are working people, but I'm not a working guy. I'm a fresher guy. So my doubt is all the working guys are there, and I'm a fresher. So can I can survive in this batch? Means
If you want to survey, okay, if you want to do that job, come into the software field. Otherwise, don't come.
no,
Yes.
not like that. Means the
Uh,
I'm asking about the what the what you are explaining. So it should be like a fresher level. So talking about that.
See,
no,
the
no, no.
thing is, I'm telling you,
Everything.
let me say, Raju, let me say one thing. So what
Okay.
I'm explaining, it is okay. Initially, it may be in fresher level, but after few sessions later on, it is going to the next level definitely. Because if I discuss only fresher level concepts, not at all useful to you. First of all, right?
Yes.
Yes, definitely we are handling very big programs. I am telling that one. Okay, so initially 5 6 classes, okay, basics like that. After that, very big programs only we are handling. For example, crowd operations you want to perform, insert, delete, update functionalities by displaying the data in the browser, just like Gmail is there. In the Gmail rows we are displaying the mails and delete operations. These type of all operations you want to learn, then always if you think about fresher level, no use. Definitely you have to update and you have to work accordingly. Not only this technology, any technology, once you enter into the software field, initial stage, 2 years, 3 years, you must work very hard. That is true. So that's why you want to understand my concepts, definitely have to practice. If you don't practice, you cannot understand anything.
Yes, sir. I'll do the practice.
And no problem.
Cause yes, sir.
Yeah, definitely initially confusions will come, no doubt in the point of. But slowly those are sought out. Yes.
Sir, could you
Yes.
give any task for doing
I will
in a
provide the
daily?
soft copy, daily notes, everything I am providing to you.
Homework means if you want to
I will provide you
learn
homework also.
anything regarding this class.
I will provide you assignments, and I
Okay.
will check how many people are doing that assignments also, because this is the new batch for you, but this is not first batch for me. Na?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, no problem. Number of assignments I will give you. Okay.
Okay. Means then only we can get if just we listen
Yeah,
and
that is true. Some persons are very interested like you. Definitely for you, I will give the assignments. But some persons they don't do. I know that one. Okay.
but we want to learn because we are working, so we are struggling at some points. So we
Yeah.
want to be good because I have been completing 1 year,
Yeah.
1 year of experience. I am a backend first of all. After that, they are assigning front end also. I have done approximately 60 projects on Angular, but I do not have clarity because I have researched
Uh,
some concepts regarding only that project. So I have
yeah.
idea, but these CRUD operations, these are not at all. I'm perfect. So I
Definitely.
have basic means average idea means 50%. But I want
Okay.
to be a good, perfect person in this
Yeah,
language.
you want to be in good format. First of all, you want to write the
Yeah.
standardized code. Okay. Yes,
Yes,
standards
sir.
you should know, and what is the format we have to follow, like that. So right
Yeah.
now you know this piece, that piece, that piece, that piece, like that pieces of code you know. That's all.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
But conceptual code you don't know till now.
Yeah.
Definitely you can understand that conceptual code. No worries in that point of view.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Fine.
Sir,
So good, all of you. No more doubts, I think, right?
sir,
Yeah. Tell me.
sir, I have 2 years, 3 months of experience, but at present I am not working. I am an unemployee, so I have only a little bit knowledge on UI, so on this HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. Sir, is it for me this Angular? Is it easy to learn this Angular for me?
Here I am not expecting any idea on HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to attend these classes. Only our main requirement is TypeScript. Yes. So JavaScript is additional advantage. That's all. But it is not mandatory. You understand this point? Yes.
Okay.
Once you are entering into this flow, okay, these classes and working flow, then it is very easy to understand the JavaScript concepts. No doubt in that point of it. So right now, you should know TypeScript, but TypeScript separate batches, those things are not available. I know that. That's why initially I'm starting with TypeScript. Is it clear? Because that is compulsory for our discussions, for our programs. That's why I will explain from basic onwards. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay.
Yeah. Fine. So clear, I think all of you. Tomorrow we'll discuss more points about this AngularJS. After that, I will give you what are the more features we have in Angular compared with AngularJS, then TypeScript programming. After that, Angular programming. Okay. See you in next session. Yes.
Okay,
Tomorrow,
sir.
Sorry.
is it at the same time tomorrow as well?
Yeah, every day same time only. Okay, up to 4 days. I told you. After that, 8 o'clock.
Yeah.
Yes, 8 to 9, 10 like that. Okay.
Okay.
See you next class. You can leave now.